to record, so hang tight on that. All right, guys, we got Patrick stepping up to the podium now. Patrick, you guys all right?
Gotcha.
All right, we'll go first to Sam McDowell. Go, Sam.
Hey, Patrick, what's up, man? Andy talked about, and it looked like based on the film from your first matchup, that Cincinnati really mixed up its coverages in the secondary, particularly with its safeties. It seems like you're a guy who prepares for anything anyway. So when a team does that change much of your preparation for a game?
It doesn't necessarily change it, but it's definitely it makes you have to focus on answers for every single play versus every single coverage. You try to do that every single week, but especially when you play teams that throw out a lot of different pitches, you want to be prepared, and you don't want to get into a play and not have an answer and have a negative play. You want to find a way to have a positive, even if that's a short gain, or just getting the ball to your hands, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
Let's go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Patrick, I'm curious, just very generally, what you think the biggest obstacle this team has overcome this year to get to this point?
Yeah, I think it's just the battling through adversity whenever things aren't happening the way we wanted it to. We hadn't dealt with that in my career so far of struggling so early on in the season and having to find a way to have success other ways. And I thought guys did a great job of that. I'm staying with the process, seeing the long-term goal, but understanding it's to take getting better every single day. And I think that was something that we really focused on this year and we did a great job with.
Let's go next to Vahe. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Patrick. Curious if before Sunday or even after Sunday, you were ever superstitious about the number 13 and how you might look at that now if it was different before.
I never was too bad about that, about the number 13. I actually was the number 13 when I was a little younger. When my dad played in the Rangers, and I was an Alex Rodriguez fan, and then he went to the Yankees and had number 13. So I had 13 back then, now that you say it, but never had necessarily a lucky or unlucky number for me.
Let's go next to James Palmer. Go ahead, James.
Hey, Patrick, so much of our questions have been about different coverages that you've gotten this year and the way it's all changed. So I'm curious now, when you look out in front of you, how quickly are you dissecting things compared to the beginning of the season? And then how often are you making changes? You obviously get multiple plays and things like that, but how often do you change things at this point in the season?
I think it's a mixture of both. You have to diagnose stuff before the snap, and then you have to be able to adjust to it after the snap, and that pre and post snap adjustments. And I think it helps out to have guys like Tyreek and Travis that recognize coverages on the run and able to adjust their routes. But I think Coach Reid does a great job of having answers versus every single play for every single coverage. It's about me recognizing the coverage, getting the ball in my hand, and getting it to those guys at the right time. So we definitely have audibles and different things we change to before the snap. But at the same time, we like to be able to adjust on the fly and post snap as well.
We'll take two more. We'll go to Matt McMullen first. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick, a quick off-the-field question for you. Your foundation is doing a pretty cool thing today. You're delivering more than 500 pizzas to area schools as a reward for kids for performing well in your Reid for 15 program. How exciting is this for you to combine all the excitement in Kansas City about the game with a great thing and helping these kids out?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to do. I mean, we want to set an example. We want to keep continuing improving school for our youth and kids, and make sure that's the next generation. That's the ones that are going to make this world an even better place. And so the Reid for 15 thing it has been great about getting kids to read and learn and stuff like that. We want to reward them for their hard work because, like I said, it's going to make the world a better place. And whenever Sterling grows up, she's going to have a generation before her that's doing that.
Go next to Pete Sweeney. Go, Pete.
Patrick, it is sort of a partnership, I guess, related question, but this Whoop rating of your heart rate being calm before these big snaps has been making the rounds. I was just curious, if you're talking to like a young quarterback, what do you maybe say to him when you're going through these big time situations to kind of keep control of the huddle and yourself, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all goes down to focus. It's about doing what you're expected to do every single play. You kind of have that little checklist of what you're looking for, what you need to recognize, and the answers that you have. And Coach Reid and Coach Bieniemy, Coach Kafka give me those answers before every single play. So I try to recognize the coverage, diagnose that, have answers, and then go and do my job. You can't put too much on yourself. You have to let these other guys make plays, and we have a lot of great guys around me. And so that's why I think that it kind of goes down, because I'm just going through my checklist and trying to focus in on what I need to do in order to have success. And luckily enough, it worked in our favor this last week.
Patrick, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we got Travis Kelce coming our way next. Hey, Trav, you got us?
I hear you.
All right, we will get started. We'll start first with Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Travis, simple question. What's it mean to you guys to be in 4 consecutive AFC Championship game, and does the approach any different from the last 3 that you've played in?
No, not at all, man. It's another step to get to our ultimate goal, which is the Super Bowl. And by no means are we looking past this, but it's just checking things off the list that we've started and that we've been trying to achieve since back in training camp or OTAs when we first started this journey. And it's just it's an honor, man. It's an honor to bring it back here to Kansas City, where we know the football world is loved by Kansas City and Chiefs Kingdom. And it's like I said, just an honor to play in another one, and you'll see us go out there and give it our all, man.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead,
Seren. Travis, this year when you started out 3 and 4, I know you guys had a theme last year, the run it back tour, and that seemed to kind of get you guys going early. As you look back at it, was one of the things you guys had to overcome the fact that, and not complacency, but just what can motivate you through a long 17-game season when you're going to be defined by what you guys do now in the postseason?
I think that it's something like that is set in to some people's mind. For me, it's just it's just opportunities, man. Taking advantage of the opportunities, being grateful that, you know, we get to play this game and, you know, not only that, we get to play it at a high level where we got a lot of eyes watching in the playoffs. So it's just making sense of everything that we're doing in this building, putting it to work throughout the week, and then going out there and just playing free football, man. Can't think about all the extra stuff like that.
Next to James Palmer. Go, James.
Hey, Travis. Tom Brady has said it multiple times now. The longer he's been in the league, when he looks at defenses, it's just he's seen everything. I don't want to say you're 45, but you've been around and you've seen a lot of things. How often, when you go out in a route, are you kind of confused by something, or do you really have a pretty good grasp almost every time about where you can find that leverage, find that hole?
Whether it's, you know, post-snap or pre-snap reads, you know, you just got to go out there and play off instinct. So you got an idea of what you want to get done, and you have an understanding of the intentions of the play caller. And then on top of that, you know what the routes are around you. So you just got to be able to, you know, put all of the puzzle together to be able to paint a clear picture for the quarterback so that, you know, it's flawless operation. And from there, you know, whether it's pre-snap or post-snap, like I said, it's all going to declare itself. And, yeah.
Let's go next to Vahe. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Travis. A lot of people are superstitious about the number 13, and I'm curious about whether you ever were, or if that's looked any different in the wake of what 13 seconds has come to mean now, if that number holds any meaning to you.
My brother wore number 13 growing up in hockey and lacrosse and baseball, and he was always beating up on me. So that's the only negative thought that I have on the number 13. This past weekend kind of brought some light to it for the first time.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Brad, I've got a couple. Real quick one first, Travis. Obviously, we know the meaning of Tony Gonzalez here in Kansas City, but why the shirt specifically today?
Honestly, just repping my guy, man. The legend. It was the one hanging up in my locker at the moment when we just got jumped off the field. So I was like, you know what? Why not rock some 8-8 today, man? And on a Red Friday.
Cool. And then to build off of what James asked, how often does your route actually change after the snap, where you're planning to do one thing but you see something and you alter your route?
I mean, it's all up to Coach Reid's kind of design on every certain play. It's he's trusted a lot of what we do out on the field to be more friendly and more, you know, just make the job for the quarterback a little bit easier by getting open earlier or finding a different void. But for the most part, I mean, it's in Coach Reid's playbook to be able to give guys that freedom and understand that, yeah, I'm going to dial this up when I know that it's this coverage or that coverage. And based off of which one presents itself, that's the route that you need to switch it up to. And it's been going on a lot longer than just this season since Coach Reid's been working with, I know, the Eagles. There's a lot of film of guys running it back then. But, you know, I think he trusts the guys that have kind of grown in this offense, because we understand the intentions of the play caller, and the way he teaches it and this offensive staff teaches it, it makes it easy to understand, and especially once you start to gain more and more reps throughout the years.
We'll go last to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Travis, this sort of builds off of Sam's question. Given that when Andy got to Kansas City, obviously everybody knew it would be his offense. I'm just wondering, how much ownership do you feel like the players have in terms of suggesting ideas, suggesting things for the game plan that week? Is it fair to say that this is more collaborative than when maybe you began with Andy in 2013?
Without a doubt, it's more collaborative. I think we had kind of a younger team on the offensive side, outside of Alex Smith and a few offensive linemen, and obviously Dwayne Bowe and Jamal Charles. But for the most part, it was really the core guys were really young, just trying to understand the offense. And throughout the 9 years or 8 years that we've been here, I mean, it's gradually grown into a player-friendly offense where we can do stuff like that. But I'm always in Coach's ear, giving him some ideas. But at the end of the day, he's got 51%. So he'll be the one dialing them up and drawing them up. But I definitely think he hears the suggestions that guys think they can help out the offense in certain ways and run certain routes to get open.
Travis, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, Coach Reid coming up here in a minute. For those of you that have video pinned, Coach will be coming in on his own from his office. So switch it up from where we've been at podium there. Coach, is this okay?
I do not, yes. Thank you.
We're ready whenever you are.
Okay, so the bad Tyron, he's still in the protocol, and but he did practice today, and we think he'll be ready to roll here in a day or so. So we'll see tomorrow. Other than that, listen, we look forward to this challenge of playing Cincinnati. We know they're a heck of a football team. I may have told you that the last few days here, but my feelings haven't changed. They're tremendously well coached, and they've got good players, and they play hard and aggressive football. So I feel like, excuse me, I feel like our guys have had a good week of practice. We'll finish it up today, and we'll kind of do our walkthrough part tomorrow. But the guys had a good practice this week, so look forward to again playing in front of our fans at Arrowhead. I know it'll be packed and loud and so on. It was that time, yours.
We'll go first to Pete Sweeney. Go, Pete.
Hey, Coach, a lot has been made this week about Travis and Patrick and the trust in them. And Travis was just talking about how when he first started, the offense was kind of just you driven, and you told him exactly what to do. It's developed into player friendly. With this game coming up, I'm just wondering if you could give us a glimpse into how much of an advantage, given how much parity in the league there is, to having a fourth-year quarterback, 8-year tight end, 5 or 6 year wide receiver, and been able to build upon that as the years go on.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I think that's great to have that. But as you've seen, their team has a chemistry there too. So, but I feel fortunate that we have the guys we do, and that they've had an opportunity to play together. Anyways, I appreciate that.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go, Seren.
And I'd have a quick follow-up if I could, Brad. Coach, with the teams playing more and more aggressively against you guys and going for it on fourth down, does that change kind of your approach? Do you feel more obligated maybe, or are you considering to have to go for it on fourth down more often to maintain the possession?
Well, we've done that the last few years, just going for it. We feel like at the right time. I mean, it's a subjective decision on my part to do that, and I'll take each one individually and just see kind of where we're at. So, but that's we don't mind doing it, but there's a time and a place we feel that we need to do that.
And then I remember, I think it was the first training camp. Patrick was here. You guys were working on like a 2-minute drill, and he had a big throw the first time, and they went. You guys went on down and scored, and everyone was asking you questions. And you said, "Hey, it really helps when you get that big chunk early." Right. Like, so going back to my point being, going back to the first time he was really kind of practicing it, he was taking those big chunks. Is that part of what has made him so successful, is that he stretches the field all the time, that when he gets into those, tight moments, it's nothing new to him. He's always looking to go down the field.
Yeah. Well, he has that ability. He has the arm strength to do that and the accuracy to do that. So, he's done it since he's played. He did it in high school. He did it in college, and then we just kind of incorporate that here. So we know that's one of his strengths, and we try to play to that. And I think the thing he's developed more so this year than in the years past is the ability to check it down, and he's really done a nice job with that.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope. Go to Herbie.
Hey, Coach, some internal housekeeping stuff here. On yesterday's injury report, Darrell Williams showed up as a limited participant. How much of that was precautionary, and what are you expecting for him on Sunday?
Yeah, listen, I think Herbie's going to be okay to Bryce. We're limiting him ourselves, not him limiting himself. So we just don't want his toe to flare up, and it's been great so far. So we want to keep it that way.
We'll go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Coach, earlier this season, we kind of went back and forth talking about the identity of this year's team. And I kind of want to ask it a different way this time, coming off the heels of the 13 seconds and everything that happened in the divisional round. What can that kind of victory do for the identity of the group that you have this year, knowing that there's still games to play, obviously?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a crazy weekend in the NFL. I mean, you had three walk-offs or whatever it was, field goals and that. So, it seems like everybody experienced it that's playing this week, of some sort. But it surely doesn't hurt you to have something like that. I think our guys are confident that they can play and do well. I'm not saying that, but it doesn't hurt that part of you, and it probably doesn't take it up another 10 notches or so. But listen, I think all the teams, I think, know that they're good right now. And I mean, nobody gets here by a fluke. So they're good teams.
Looks like we've got two more. We'll go Harold and then Vahe. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Andy, 16 wins or 16 years where you've had 10 plus wins. You're going to your conference championship number 7 now, of course, with the Philadelphia and now Kansas City. Just when you get to this, moment with the conference championship, you're as experienced as anybody in the history to lead with this. How do you deal with this moment with these guys? And, having that experience, how much does that help you into a game like this?
Yeah, I want them to enjoy the experience, be themselves and play hard and aggressive, prepare during the week so that they can play to their best ability. And then whatever happens, but prepare yourself to do that. And I don't know if that's through experience or not, but you want the guys to make sure that they can maximize what they've got and as a football player, and mentally and physically. So that's how I approach it.
Go last to Vahe. Go ahead, Vahe.
Andy, I know you're always eager for the change of pace question this time of year. So I'm curious if you have any feelings about the number 13. A lot of people are superstitious about it. Did you ever have any feeling of superstition about it before, or anything different now?
You know what? I haven't. I'm not really superstitious. I haven't got to that that point, you know. I play baseball too, which is, I mean, I know that's an amazing thing if you're not superstitious. So coming out of being a baseball player, those guys all have their quirks. So but I would never got into that. That's probably why I wasn't a good baseball player. But I doggone it.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
All right. You guys be safe.